Hey guys, this is Steli after with Closeout. Today I want to talk about one of the secrets to self-improvement in sales. So a lot of salespeople reach out to me and they ask me, what are the people that you study, Steli? What are the books you read? What are the masters you learn from to become better and better at the game of sales? And the truth to that is that you want to go external and learn from others. And throughout my career and throughout the years, I've probably read and studied more sales books about communication and persuasion and influence. An insane amount. I don't want to say more than anybody else, but I've read hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books about the topic and read thousands of articles on it. So I think it's a good idea to go out there and study anything and everything you can. But at the end of the day, I think the real road to mastery is self-study. It's studying yourself is where you're going to learn the most, and it's the scariest place to go to study in the first place. So what I want to suggest today is I'm going to give you some tricks on how to do self-study really effectively, especially one specific trick that I think most people try to avoid, which is recording yourself. If you really want to kill it in sales and want to become amazing at it, you should start recording yourself. And obviously you can go, in multiple ways. You can just record audio, just hear your own voice. Doesn't matter if you make a presentation in person, over the phone, or whatever kind of medium or environment it is in. You can just record your own voice, making that pitch, interacting, communicating, and listen to that later on. Or if you can, and in many cases today with a phone, you can record yourself even in video. And I would recommend you to record yourself in video even if the interaction is audio only. So let's say you're on a sales call, the person cannot see you. I would still recommend you to record yourself with video, not just audio, because your body language is going to give you a lot of clues on what's going on internally, and your body language is going to tell you what you're going to say probably next and how you're going to deliver these lines even before you open your mouth. So the more context you get, the better for your self-study. Now, all right, so let's say you start recording yourself, and I would recommend to take the challenge of doing that in the next 30 days every single day. Let's take a 30-day challenge. For the next 30 days, every day record yourself, at least in one pitch. Doesn't matter if it's just audio or audio and video. It depends on how much of a mastery you're interested in and how excited are you about this challenge. But I want you to record yourself in one pitch every single day. And here's the next thing I want you to do. Once you've recorded yourself, at the end of the day, before you go to sleep, I want you to listen to yourself or watch that recording, and I want you to start writing down some notes. Now, if you're a true master of communication, you might go nuts and go so far as to not just record yourself in audio and video, but also transcribe your own words. Now, I know some people that this might blow your mind, even thinking of the practice of sitting down, listening to yourself and writing down every single word. This is definitely not something for the faint of heart and for the people that are not fully committed to, self-study. But if you really want to master your own communication, that is really the highest level in going and getting fully immersed in your own communication. So just transcribe, your own pitch. I've just recently learned that, somebody like Tony Robbins, who, no matter if you like him or not, is probably one of the most effective communicators the world has ever seen, and probably the person that has talked in front of more human beings in human history. I mean, the guy's been on road 300 days out of the year in front of tens of thousands of people almost every second or third day for the past, 30, 40 years. It's insane the amount of people that he's spoken in front of. And one thing that blows my mind is that I recently heard that every night after he does a big workshop, and his workshops sometimes are 10 hours, 11 hours of him just speaking on stage. At the end of the day, when he goes back in his office home, he has a full transcript of the entire event. Not just audio and video recordings of everything that he said, but he has a digital version and a physical copy of the entire event, everything he said during the day, fully transcribed for him to go through and study and highlight and change and edit and point out and work on. Now that shit is crazy, all right? So if you think that, your 15-minute call is too much to transcribe, think again if you truly want to master yourself and master the art of sales. So You want to record yourself in the next 30 days, audio and video. You want to transcribe some of these conversations if you're really, really serious about getting your game to the next level. And not just going through the exercise of transcribing everything you say, but then reading it, editing it, highlighting your weaknesses, highlighting the areas where you did really, really well. Just really study your own communication. There's going to be a world that's going to open up of opportunities for improvement. And then you don't have to be the only person that studies yourself. You can start sharing these recordings with other people, trusted communicators, people that are crushing it in sales, people that are your mentors, your coaches, and go, hey, listen to this recording of a sales presentation that I gave. In minute 10 to minute 15, I think some really important things are happening. I think I'm missing an opportunity, or I think I'm doing really well. Can you listen to that, take those 5 minutes, and then give me feedback and let me know what you think? The cool thing is, there's one thing to get feedback from people when they're live in the room or afterwards, right? But there's another thing when people can actually listen to it in a kind of safe and calm and focused environment, and then later on maybe replay and really analyze. They tend to be a lot more analytical and less emotional about their feedback because they were not immersed as part of the experience and part of their communication. They're truly removed from that so that now they can objectively look at it, analyze it, and give feedback that's totally unemotional and uninvolved, which is the type of feedback that you want many times. So you can study yourself, your audio, video, you can transcribe yourself, and you can send these recordings to people you trust, asking for feedback and asking for their input. And then over time, you can actually track that. So what I would suggest you do is to have a folder system where you have kind of the best of and the worst of, and you keep track of a long periods of time what your journey, your improvements truly are. I've learned this in a hypnosis workshop once that was pretty powerful, where back in that day, they would give you a VHS cassette. I know you kids don't know what this means, but you can just Google it. They would give every participant a cassette, and they had these video cameras in all these different stages and rooms where the workshop was going on, and you would have your cassette with your name on it, and every time you had to do some practice run in terms of your communication, you would get on stage, and they would put in your cassette and record you. So over 10 days of workshop, every day over 5, 6, or 7 practice runs, you would have your cassette, and every single practice you made, you were recorded. And then at the end of the workshop, you actually sat down and watched the entire progression of yourself on day 1, on day 2, on day 3, to the last day, and you had a coach next to you giving you feedback, pointing out the growth and the journey and the learning. It's been that was a pretty eye-opening experience in terms of the impact of self-study to your skill and the growth that you can experience in a very short period of time if you do that. So what you want to do is you want to replicate that idea and just create some folder system where you have the best of my cold calls, worst of my cold calls, the best of my online demos, the worst of my online demos. And you keep track of that, and you pay attention every 6 months, maybe every quarter, every year. You take a moment to listen to a few older calls and a few recent calls, or watch a few older presentations and a few recent presentations, and make some notes and kind of create a inventory on your improvement, your journey, or maybe you've degraded in your communication, whatever it is. I know for sure that watching a lot of the videos that I'm recording, like this one, there was a time where I said actually in every video maybe 100 times per minute, and I even watched 10, 20, 30 of these videos, never realizing, never picking up on it, until a friend of mine, Ramin, said, hey, could you tone down a little bit on the actual and actually? You say it way too many times. And then I could not stop hearing myself saying that word. I would have to edit and stop myself every day talking to all kinds of people, and it drove me nuts for a minute, but eventually I got rid of it. So you really want to start studying yourself, recording yourself, analyzing that material if you truly want to master your communication, your art of sales, and see the progression of your improvement and your growth. I hope this was useful. Make sure to comment below and let me know what kind of tips, tricks, and tactics you use to improve and grow in your sales abilities. Make sure to add me on Twitter @Stelly. Make sure to go to blog.close.io and subscribe to our blog. All right, go out there and get them now.
Do you want to manually log calls in your sales CRM, or do you want more of this? Close.io helps you close more deals with less effort. Try it free at close.io.